Hey everybody, I know you might get tired of my face as far as this goes, but it's Overwatch League time and there's no better way to get you excited for the Overwatch League than to go over some of the top players of last week. Well, kicking off days 1 and 2 as far as our DPS goes is none other than Prophet. Because he made the other team's DPS. I mean, they were in the negatives. So, let's check out some detailed stats by NASCAB on Prophet.
Prophet of the London Spitfires had a great game against the Florida Mayhem, as always having a great performance on Tracer, but also a good performance on Junkrat, Genji, and McCree. Overall, he had a KD of 64 final blows and 24 deaths. On Tracer, he had 49 final blows and 16 deaths, while also having 21 pulse bombs throughout the whole entire series. Which is why Prophet is our DPS player of days 1 and 2.
All right. I know. Exciting, right? Well, don't get too impressed because we're on to our tank of days 1 and 2. And our tank is none other than Gamsu. I mean, look. You beat the New York Excelsior, expect to see some Boston Uprising players because they absolutely deserve to be here. Yet again, what is this? They're doing so good. But let's take in just hands in the nitty-gritty details with NASCAB. Let's take that look.
When I saw Fissure play this week, we just had to put him on the list. If nothing else but for his Reinhardt play against the Seoul Dynasty on Oasis Academy. However, over the whole entire series, he had a total of 46 final blows and 32 deaths. On top of that, he also had 11 opening frags for his team, which is why Fissure is our tank player of days 3 and 4.
Alrighty, here we go. Wrapping up days 1 and 2 of last week, we have none other than the orb-flinging Bedosin. I mean, he was turning players into mincemeat. Or Swiss cheese, I guess, because he put holes through the... we're not going to bother ourselves with the details. What we are going to bother ourselves with is... Wait, the details. Sending it over to NASCAB?
Bedosin, the London Spitfire, had pinpoint accuracy against the Florida Mayhem, resulting in their 3-0 win. Mostly playing Zenyatta throughout the series, but also playing Moria. Overall, he had a KD of 22 final blows and 17 deaths, which is insane for Zenyatta support that's constantly getting dived. Having 13 ults throughout the whole entire series helped his team get those crucial map wins, which is why Bedosin is our support player of days 1 and 2.
All right, guys, that does it for days 1 and 2. So let's take a look at days 3 and 4, and after that, we've got a MVP of the week. Oh, he's back. He's big. He's back. He is the champion that New York deserves because it is Big Boss Pine coming in as the DPS for days 3 and 4, and there's no other introduction I can give, so let's just get those stats. NASCAB, all you.
We were glad to see Pine back in the mix versus the Houston Outlaws. We just had to put this guy on our top players list for his amazing play on both Widowmaker and McCree. He even pulled out the Pharah this week and did pretty well on it. Overall, he had a KD of 45 and 36. On Widowmaker alone, he had 30 final blows and 24 deaths. And considering he didn't even play the full series, he only played 3 of the 5 matches, makes those score lines pretty insane. Which is why Pine is our DPS player of days 3 and 4.
This is a painful one for me. It really is. It's Fissure. Why isn't he with the Spitfire anymore? Well, that's because we took pity on the league. You guys are lucky. Let's get some details into this sillily awesome tank. It's not on my team anymore. NASCAB, all you.
When I saw Fissure play this week, we just had to put him on the list. If nothing else but for his Reinhardt play against the Seoul Dynasty on Oasis Academy. However, over the whole entire series, he had a total of 46 final blows and 32 deaths. On top of that, he also had 11 opening frags for his team, which is why Fissure is our tank player of days 3 and 4.
Oh, boy. Support 3 and 4. We've got another orb flanger. Another damage dealing, healing, transcending the barriers of everything we think a support can do, because it is Jonak rightfully taking his place as king of the supports yet again. No surprise. The guy has no limits. He really does transcend all limit. All right. Stats with Nascab, sorry.
Jonak, business as usual, had a stunning performance against the Houston Outlaws. Mostly on Zenyatta, but also he had a pretty good game as Ana as well. Overall, he had 36 final blows and 35 deaths, which is pretty solid for a Zen player. But extraordinarily, he had 30 ults in the whole entire match, which is an insane amount, which is why Jonak is our support player of days 3 and 4.
We are here. It's MVP time. The best player. The most valuable, at least. And he is none other than Striker. I mean, look. I know they looked a little shaky versus the Mayhem at the end of the week, but they performed huge against the New York Excelsior, and that is a statement victory. And I personally think that a lot of that win was on the back of Striker. Now, mistakes did good, but I just think Striker's really starting to go, guys, pay attention to me. I'm Striker, and I'm amazing. So, he absolutely deserves to be here. Let's get those stats. Nascab, one more time.
Striker of the Boston Fuel was a pivotal member during their games against both the Florida Mayhem and the New York Excelsior. Overall, he had a total of 127 final blows throughout both series and 58 deaths throughout both series. On Tracer alone, he had 79 final blows and 31 deaths, which is pretty solid, but he had 42 ults. It's 42 pulse bombs, which he made great use out of throughout both series, usually landing them on one member, if not two, getting crucial final blows that helped his team snowball into point takes or moving the payload or capturing the point. We all hope to see more out of Striker in the future, but for this week, he is our Stage 3, Week 2 MVP.
And that does it for all the hype and excitement of last week's players. Let's get ready to see all of the excitement again, because today is match day. To all the teams that play today, good luck and have fun.